Hello everyone, it's Dusk and Mods here once again, and I've got a minor update to be pushing. I say minor update because it just builds upon some of the stuff that was originally done, like the this being done or the ringy thing added. I've changed some models like the materialized throttles so that it actually fits the theme of the rest of these. I'm gonna stop talking here for a second because I'm gonna skip this part just to show the animation of the lever, but apparently the sound of the TARDIS lifting off is copyrighted, so I'll just initiate the first part. And now that we've skipped that sound, I can go on to the other changes and stuff. For example, TARDIS clothing storage, TARDIS weapon storage, TARDIS armor storage, and miscellaneous TARDIS storage, and regular TARDIS storage. These are done so that users who want to use these ones up in the front can find their stuff easily and quickly. Now there is still a lot of stuff for storage in the back portions.
Useless. Jammed.
Now I don't remember why this was locked to begin with. I think it was just because it was out of reach up above the other stuff. Yeah, the radio has been reverted. I have to put the radio back in because when that save file was corrupted, I had to roll back changes, and one of those changes was the radio. One of those were also the one of those changes were also the holotape being renamed with parentheses around it, so that you could easily find it at the top. I also put a space in front so it would appear before anything else. A space does count as a letter, and it will just put it in front of C, S, and all that other stuff. Another change I've made is fixing the lighting. So the only lights are the lights that should be in here. Or dim lights like that are just mainly for decoration. Also, I fixed the nav mesh so Dogmeat can follow the user all the way back here. Now he cannot go past here, which I'll show you guys why in a second. But part of the reason being the radiation. I don't want companions to die due to radiation. The store does still close and reopen, but because of the radiation in here, when you guys go to the shooting range, there's actually one of these which I forgot to turn back on. Oh, you know what? The animation isn't on, but the effect is on, so you guys can see it cleared out my radiation. This is just a gun range. Now if you want to set this stuff back up, you're going to have to manually set the bottles back up. I don't have any scripts to reset them, but I did put the script in so that these things don't move, and they didn't accept the script. Alright, well, whatever. The wall should keep them from falling over enough. I'll see if I can fix the script where they don't do havoc. If you do shoot the quick save. If you do shoot the beanbags too much, they will disintegrate as well. as you guys can also see, parts of the TARDIS emanating in. Clear that radiation back here. I gotta get the animation fixed. The dog can follow you down here. Any companion can follow you down here. These are more for like a design choice to make the TARDIS seem like it's capable of doing stuff. Kind of like in Doctor Who, they use fake props to make the TARDIS look bigger than it actually is, or the fake sound to make it sound like it's flying when it's not. But you know, it's a TV show, just like this is made for entertainment. So is that made for entertainment? This is basically like you can live out Doctor Who. I've also fixed the issues back here, so the dog, any companion can follow you back here. I've added in the textures for very old book and other books and stuff. Obviously, Duskin's Notebook is a real life book. I actually modeled and took photos of the book. I took photos of the book and used those to make the textures for the in-game version. And yes, my book in real life actually says front. It says this because the front and the back are identical, and I end up opening the wrong end of the book first. It also on the side in real life says Duskin's Notebook. So this was actually part of the texture that I added in, because like I said, I just took photos of it, so these are actually on the book. The placement is correct. I should just used a label printer. The only difference here is that I increased the size of the label using Photoshop to be bigger so that it's more legible. But the one on the front is actually the same size. The only difference is the point on the block. I tried to make a Rubik's Cube, and then I ended up making whatever the hell this thing was. I thought it looked cool, so I kept it in. These containers are all gonna be removed because I've got the other labeled containers up front. The TARDIS vault is just a place where you can put your, what you would call, valuable possessions inside this vault. Obviously the walls do glow. Even if you can't see, you can see when you're right about to run into the walls. Although you cannot see dog meat when he's not being illuminated by the walls. They're more for like, if it's dark, you can see the walls and know where you're going. Because even without the walls, you can see where they end all the way back there. So you can navigate without your flashlight up until you come into the bedroom. Dog just got in my way. Even the TARDIS repair shop features similar lights. Same thing with this room, with the exception of the bookshelves. They don't light up. And the spotlights are just bright enough to give you an idea of where the edges of the room are. Obviously, Duskin's Xbox and the Xbox One S's are still in the game, as well as robotics and stuff, because I just like to build stuff, so usually I have mechanical stuff laying around. I don't have mechanical stuff like robots laying around my personal workshop, but I do have just screwdrivers, wrenches, and all that other stuff just laying around. Obviously, as I've stated before, you can turn on and off the power by utilizing the system control switch. It was originally going to be in this room, but I decided against it. This room might just be deleted. You guys can vote in the comments if it's going to be deleted. That is, if you've made it this far into the boring video. Although most people did vote for the long, boring TARDIS update. I want to put that in there. Long TARDIS update, quotation marks. You asked for this. Obviously, I've taken the TARDISes out of that other room, and I've just put the bigger one up in here because it doesn't make sense to have a bunch of blue boxes if the TARDIS being a blue box is a rare occurrence. So I've got all the default ones, where you've got 2 inaccessible TARDISes and you've got one that is accessible. And if you do access it, you'll just come across a TARDIS that is unable to fly, is actually being shut off by this thing. It's being forced into a shutdown state. The door is barred to make the TARDIS appear bigger than it actually is, although there would only be 1 or 2 rooms after this. A TARDIS starts out quite small and grows as time goes on. Of course, you've got TARDIS storage in here as well, and you've got the scanners, which are inactive. Hitting them does nothing. As for the design choices that I've made the console room wider for a reason. It's because I knew I was going to be filling it with junk to make it look like it's been lived in by a madman for a while. And I didn't want to fill up a room that was already claustrophobic, so I made the console room wider. This is why you need to uninstall the mod, save the game without it, and then reinstall it, because the console has been moved downward and the room is expanded outward. So if you have stuff in here, chances are nothing is going to match up with its original locations. That's what happens when you move something. The game doesn't know that you moved it and just keeps it where it was spawned in originally. Somebody mentioned that the plot twister sticks out a bit and the collision sticks outwards. That's because this is actually a model that was shrunk to get it to fit. I didn't realize it was going to be this big when I put the model in. And when I shrunk it, the collision stayed exactly where it was. Meaning that you were running into it. Also, the collision for these stick out quite a bit no matter what. So you have to stare at it straight on or you're going to end up getting the wrong one. The plan was to put in a flight script where you have to hit a series of buttons, kind of like Fallout Who, but then I remembered that, yeah, Fallout Who can be a bit complicated and you can die while flying, which is exactly what I was trying to avoid. And then I remembered why I was adding all these switches and stuff, to give you the feel that you're flying the TARDIS with your own control, while not actually risking your gameplay. Some people don't save in forever, like myself, for example. The reason why I changed this to be the one that it is so that it sticks out a bit more instead of being so compressed and actually feels more like the TARDIS materialized lever, unlike what it was before. Light switch animations are broken. I have not been able to fix them, and no, I will not be adding one of these switches because shrinking it is what broke it in the first place. The TARDIS garden does respawn once in a while. I don't remember what I set the respawn time to, but setting it to respawn will allow you to get mute fruit at any time. Now, I actually had a friend that play tested this, and he laughed at my insanity of just a room full of teddy bears, and I told him that the reason I did this was just to show people that I'm insane. Pursue evil laughter. The out of bounds terminal, somebody mentioned that you can accidentally get out of bounds. This is not accidental, this is completely on purpose, because some people will drop things out of bounds somehow, and there's actually a floor down there so that you can retrieve it from the bottom. Now, how you actually get down there is through this system. The door, oh, you know what, I have to realign everything. But the door is actually up there. I'm like 90% sure that you can survive this fall. If not, I'll just, reload. Your leg has been crippled. Yeah, that seems about right. So if you dropped something, it would land on this platform, and the TARDIS is, of course, up there. And the marker has been moved as well. So I will be moving the marker as well so that you guys don't fall through the map if you guys try to use that marker. Scrapping certain objects do scrap the entire shelves, as you guys have probably known. Scrapping this pallet specifically will get rid of the sentry bot, which doesn't even have collision. That's what happens when you make an NPC a static collision thing, or a load collision thingy. I know my words. I know English. Me good at English. English good. Oh, this has lost all cinematics. Inaccessible. I don't remember what happened to this. The interface is still there, but you can't actually... You can't actually see what you're doing. You're supposed to be able to lock these, but I can't follow my footsteps. Stop opening my doors! Somebody asked if the map up top would be used to select locations and stuff. A, that would involve an entirely new interface, and B, although I could make it work, the interface would be so clunky that it just wouldn't be worth it. Yeah, it just wouldn't be worth it. It's not like a vertibird where they have pre-programmed paths. That's why they look all wonky whenever they fly, is they're trying to fly in a straight line to a path and then connect to that path and then fly that path. That's why they start flying through buildings and stuff. the entire script is a mess to begin with. Obviously, the self-destruct still doesn't work. But that's basically the long, boring update for all the little changes and stuff. For some reason, this is the video that people voted for my long video instead of like a compilation or something. If you guys enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe for more. If you didn't, give it a thumbs down and I will give you a middle finger. Have a good day, or a good night, or a good morning, and peace out. This has been Duskin Mods.